first in the nation primary. I mean, take a look here. J.D. Vance at 51%. The next closest is Nikki Haley, who's at 9. I mean, what is that? That's 42 points ahead of the pack. Tulsi Gabbard is at 8. In the first in the nation primary, J.D. Vance, running 42 points ahead. There's a reason why he's such a heavy favorite in the prediction market so far, because if you win the GOP primary in New Hampshire, chances are you're going to be the Republican nominee for president.
How are things looking nationally for Democrats?
Okay, so we're looking at the states, right? We're looking at Gavin Newsom's home state, but how about nationally? Does what we're seeing in California translate nationally? Chance of being the 2028 Democratic nominee, according to the prediction markets. Back on June 1st, before all this strategy, before all this confrontation with Donald Trump, you saw Gavin Newsom 11%, AOC at 10, Buttigieg at 8. Look at where Gavin Newsom has shot up to now, 27%. Now is the clear front runner, not at 50% plus, but still the clear front runner, at least according to the prediction markets. What we're seeing in California isn't staying in California, at least at this particular point.
Thanks, Harry. It's good to see you.
Nice to see you.
But, right off the bat, we could just make some observations. He's white. He's tall. He's handsome. His wife is also white. She's tall. She's good looking. His children, 4 of them, are beautiful, and they're all white. Now, here's the other image. This is our fearless leader, the entity known as J.D. Vance. The entity known as J.D. Hamill, since the last operating system update, is now J.D. Vance. This is his family. Now, let's make some observations here. So this is our fearless leader, the entity known as J.D. Vance. He's fat.
So hold on, you got, all right, well, this actually is of a thread with the whole conversation, because you look at these two candidates. You have Gavin Newsom, worst governor in the country. I think we would all agree, destroyed his state, let its main city burn to the ground because of his incompetence, is a personal, complete derelict, liar, degenerate. But he is good looking. I'll grant you that he's good looking. Yep. And it kind of looks like Patrick Bateman, American Psycho. Hey. And then you have this vice president to President Trump, the transformative right-wing president in our lifetimes, who, do you support Trump or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got this vice president handpicked by Trump, who is extremely intelligent, very right wing. I think he's a pretty good looking guy. I don't know. Maybe I guess you disagree. But he's all these things, checks all these boxes, would have all these great policies. And regardless, you're going to pick the pro mass migrant, pro-trans, pro-murder the babies, pro-burn the cities to the ground, pro-BLM Democrat because he's skinnier than the conservative vice president.
100 times over. Yeah.
All right, I can't argue with that, I guess.
It just goes to show like who you are as a person, and
I think it does.
not to mention, you look at like J.D. Vance. I'd say he's probably like more concerned with like doing trips to India and like taking pictures in front of the Taj Mahal than actual politics.
Is he? I don't know. I think he's done that like once. He's done actual politics for, I don't know, like a decade.
Well, the guys, and regardless of my opinion, I'm just telling you that because of the halo effect and the subconscious bias, really politics is not about like good policy anymore. It's just about like rhetoric and presentation. That's like a very like obvious thing. It's
You're saying just based on looks?
Yeah, just based on charisma, looks, and Gavin Newsom absolutely blows Vance out of the water with all of these things. So it doesn't really matter.
And you would vote, even if you go with that premise, you're saying that's so persuasive, you would vote for him. You, who is ostensibly a right-winger, you'd vote for one of the most left-wing and incompetent governors in the country because you think he's sexier.
No, that's not really what I'm saying at all.
I thought that's what you said. You'd vote for Newsom 100 out of 100 times.
Well, because it just, and also Vance isn't really like someone who's deserving of any right-wingers vote. I mean, like policy-wise. Like I think J.D. Vance, would he be a better candidate and probably closer to me in terms of policy than Gavin Newsom? Yes, but he's just not going to be good enough to be deserving. I think the right has kind of let down the voters for the longest time. So I think I don't really think that right-wingers should just give support to these jesters who continue to underdeliver on their promises, just let the Democrats win. That's kind of what I'm talking about in terms of just like why I don't support Vance as a voter. But
So you're saying no, they shouldn't vote for any Republican. The right wingers should not vote for the Republican.
not until the right actually wants to do the things that they're promising.
So is there a candidate you would prefer? I assume you don't actually want to vote for Newsom. Maybe you do. Maybe
No,
you are a Democrat.
no.
No. Okay. So then who's a right winger you want to vote for?
Mm,
Or maybe there isn't one.
no, yeah, there really isn't one.
It's kind of doomer, isn't it? So now you're saying if you're a real hardcore Giga Chad right winger, you should let the Democrats rape your country.
Well, yeah, you kind of have to. Like, that's the accelerationist mentality. Because, like, look, what is the right going to do other than just like a small win here and like, maybe you overturn Roe v. Wade on like a federal level, but abortion
pretty
is
big.
still allowed, like state to state. So it's like it really doesn't do anything. It's like if these people are just going to like continue.
Maybe you deport 2 million people. Maybe
Okay, but there's still
restore some of the
28 million
American economy.
more, right? So until these people actually want to make changes that matter, right?
I think 2 million people matters. I think
Does it in a country of how many people? Like, what are we?
330 million or so.
Exactly. So it's like this is we're not really making any progress here. So for the RNC to just demand voters to continue to show up, for what? Really, it's just that's the cope, right? That's what I'm simply advocating for until like the policies change and like the rhetoric is a little better.
How would the policies change? This is what I'm confused about is had a Democrat won, just use this past year, had a Democrat won, we would get, just judging by Biden's policies, it was Biden's vice president who was running, you would add 3 million illegal aliens to the country.
Mm-hmm.
Because Trump won, not only do you not add 3 million, you lose 2 million. So now you have a net change of 5 million potential foreigners who would be in the United States over the course of 1 year. And you're saying, yeah, it's not good enough.
Well, things need to get so bad that people are just like, okay, we're fine with having like the National Guard in major cities, things like that.
Yeah.
And that's not going to occur unless people just like stop voting for Republicans who just like maybe slow down like, the progress of the left a little bit across a few elections. But they're not doing enough.
But
Fair.
what's very interesting about it is by saying, look, not only am I apathetic, I want the Democrats to win because they're going to be bad,
Yes.
because they're going to screw up the country,
Yes.
and then we'll have a revolution, it'll be good again.
Right.
What's interesting about that to me is it reflects something quite real and I think quite understandable, which is the alienation, especially among young men, especially among young right-wing men, from the country that at a very high levels in popular media and government has told that group of people that they suck for like 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
That I totally resonate with. So how widespread do you think that alienation is?
I would say that the reason that I have the success I do is because it's almost in every kid my age who in the same demographic as people are tired of being banned on social media. People are tired of
Being called toxic.
right, the government not advocating for them whatsoever. So I would say that it's probably more common than not.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. But I don't know, I'm a little more hopeful about it. Like,
You don't want us to make a problem for you? Well, then you better make us happy, get this fat fuck out of our face, or buckle up and have 4 years of Gavin Newsom. We did 4 years of Biden. We lived. Everyone's going to be fine, actually. And then we'll have a new generation in 2032. You don't want to see what that looks like. You think this is bad? You don't want to see what comes next.